Hi everyone, my name is Bryn and today I'm going to be telling you about the Melon Heads of Connecticut. This is an urban legend that hasn't been around for very long, maybe a couple decades. It's one of the more recent ones, but it is one that I find very interesting. So, a little background information. This urban legend actually has a couple different sides to its story. These melonheads are presumed to be living in Michigan, Connecticut, and Ohio, so each state has a little different story of how they got to where they are. They agree on what they look like and how these melonheads act, but how they kind of made it to where they are is a little different for each state. So today I'm going to be telling you about the melonheads of Connecticut. So this story takes place back in the 1960s. This all is going on in Fairfield County, which is a presumably secluded county. Like, there's not a lot of people and there's a lot of woods. So, in this county, there's an insane asylum, and this insane asylum is surrounded by woods. And one night, this insane asylum catches fire, and it is presumed that everyone inside dies: staff, patients, everyone. A couple days go by, and people are digging through the remains, trying to match bodies with the records, and they notice that 10 to 20 of these patients are not accounted for. This then leads them to find out that 10 to 20 of these patients actually somehow escaped the asylum while it was on fire and ran into the woods. So they've been gone for a couple days, and these people don't think they're coming back because if they come back, they're just going to be incarcerated again. So they're gone. So these patients from the asylum are now living in the woods. I don't know if you guys are very familiar with Connecticut in the winter, but it gets very cold. So food is very scarce for them. So this is when these patients actually resort to cannibalism. So while this is going on, they also are resorting to incest too. Their offspring from this are called melonheads. So while these patients are living in the woods of Connecticut, in this small county, they develop hydrocephalus, and this is something in the brain where your cavities fill with fluid, and this makes your brain kind of expand. So mixed with this and incest, the offspring have these big heads. So this is where they get the name melon heads. So now that you know about the melon heads and kind of how they got to where they are, I'm going to be telling you about an encounter that happened. So this encounter I found online, and it's a little bit old, but this is one of the more popular encounters from Connecticut. So this encounter takes place in the 1980s. So melonheads are very recent in this time. Yeah. So there's a group of teens that are driving down Devil's Drive, which is also known as Velvet Road, and it is in Fairfield County. So this is a long 1.5 mile road with lots of woods. Like, it's surrounded by woods, and it's just a straight road. So these teens are driving, and they pull over to the side, and they get out of their car, and they're looking around for melonheads. Like, their goal was to find melonheads. Like, teens being teens, they're like, you know what, we're gonna find some. So they're looking around, they don't get very far, and all of a sudden they see their car starts, and they're like, that's weird. They look around, and all of the group is together, and they're like, someone's robbing us or something. So these teens run up to their car to go see what's going on, and this car is just driving straight at them. So they jump out of the way, and they say that they saw this human-like figure driving, but it had a ginormous head. So they're like, it looked like a human, but it didn't because its head was so big. So this is one of the crazy encounters that I found most interesting. I hope you enjoyed the urban legend of the melonheads, and hopefully you will never encounter them one day.